Amid the clatter of carriages and the smoke of the industrial age, one figure dared to dream that machines might do more than grind gears or count numbers. This is the story of Ada Lovelace, the woman who saw poetry in machinery and in doing so became the world's first computer programmer. Welcome to the Greatest Ever Victorians, Episode 4. Hello and welcome to Literally Victorian, Episode 4 of our Greatest Ever Victorians. Ada Lovelace was born in December 1815, the only legitimate child of the infamous Romantic poet Lord Byron and his mathematically gifted wife, Anne Isabella Milbank, known by society as the Princess of Parallelograms. It was a union of poetry and precision, and it collapsed almost instantly. When Ada was just a few weeks old, her parents separated. Byron fled England soon after, leaving his daughter behind forever. Fearing Ada would inherit her father's madness of the imagination, Lady Byron raised her daughter in a world of logic and order. While other girls of her class were trained in music and manners, Ada was taught algebra, geometry, and astronomy. But imagination, like poetry, finds its way through cracks in reason. As a child, Ada designed imaginary flying machines, complete with diagrams and notes. She called this her flyology. The girl who was forbidden to dream became a dreamer of systems, a thinker who saw beauty in numbers. At age 17, Ada attended a glittering London party where she met a man who would change her life, Charles Babbage, a brilliant but eccentric mathematician and inventor. Babbage showed her a small portion of his unfinished creation, the difference engine, a mechanical calculator made of brass and steel. Most guests saw a confusing jumble of gears. Ada saw the future. She was fascinated by how it mimicked the logic of the human mind, turning thought into mechanism. Babbage, astonished by her insight, called her the enchantress of numbers. A partnership was born, not romantic, but intellectual and visionary. They corresponded for years, discussing logic, mathematics, and machinery, conversations that would one day lay the groundwork for computing. Babbage's ambitions soon grew beyond calculation. He dreamed of a machine that could not only add and subtract, but follow instructions, a machine that could perform any task if programmed correctly. He called it the analytical engine. In 1842, Babbage gave a lecture in Turin. An Italian engineer, Luigi Menabrea, wrote about it in French. When Ada Lovelace translated the paper into English, she added her own notes, and those notes became 3 times longer than the original text. Within them lay an extraordinary vision. She described how the analytical engine could handle not just numbers, but symbols, anything that could be represented in logic. Music, words, art, all could be encoded. The analytical engine, she wrote, weaves algebraic patterns just as the jacquard loom weaves flowers and leaves. This single metaphor, weaving with logic, is the birth of computer science. She also included a detailed sequence of instructions for calculating Bernoulli numbers. It was the first published computer program, written a century before computers existed. But what truly set Ada apart was her imagination. She saw machines not as replacements for human thought, but as partners in creativity. The engine might compose elaborate and scientific pieces of music, she speculated, of any degree of complexity or extent. In 1843, those words sounded fantastical. Today, they describe reality. For all her brilliance, Ada Lovelace's life was not one of triumph. She lived in a world that offered no place for women of intellect. She was mocked, dismissed, and often isolated. Her health deteriorated through her 30s, plagued by chronic illness and medical treatments that did more harm than good. Desperate for control over her life, she turned to gambling schemes based on mathematical odds, a tragic attempt to outthink chance itself. In her final years, she reconciled with her estranged mother and sought spiritual peace. She died in 1852 at just 36, the same age as her father, whom she never met. At her own request, she was buried beside him, the poet and the programmer, two dreamers who never shared a lifetime, but shared a soul. For nearly a century, Ada Lovelace's notes gathered dust. Babbage's machine was never completed, dismissed as an impossible dream. But in the 20th century, as real computers emerged, scientists rediscovered her writings and were stunned by her insight. Alan Turing himself studied her work while designing the first modern computers. He called her vision prophetic. In 1979, the US Department of Defense named a programming language, ADA, in her honor. Today she's remembered not just as the first programmer, but as a symbol of creativity in science, the belief that imagination and logic are not enemies, but partners. Ada Lovelace never built her machine. She never saw a single program run, never watched numbers come alive on the screen. Yet she saw it all, a century before the world caught up. She looked into the gears of the analytical engine and saw a mirror of the mind, a universe where art and science could finally speak the same language. That brain of mine, she once wrote, is something more than merely mortal, as time will show. And time did show. Because every program, every algorithm, every spark of digital creativity traces its lineage back to a woman who refused to separate poetry from reason. Ada Lovelace, the first programmer, the enchantress of numbers, and the dreamer who taught machines to imagine. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Until next time, bye for now.